My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. We break down every single fight card. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. Main event of the evening, we have Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker. Israel Adesanya is 21-1 overall, 4-1 in his last five, and that lone loss was to Jan Blachowicz when he went up in weight class to try to win the light heavyweight title. Robert Whittaker is 24-4 overall. He's 4-1 in his last five, and he's coming off of three very one-sided decision wins. And this fight's a rematch. So let's talk about the first fight from 2 years ago. Izzy won that fight by TKO in the second round. The first round was a lot of Robert Whittaker literally charging forward, throwing big jabs and then giant right hands behind it. He did have some success. It landed a few times. And honestly, I would have scored that round for Robert if Izzy didn't just straight drop him at the end of that round. The second round was more the same. Robert took the center of the octagon, made it a brawl. He had success. He even landed a solid head kick, but Izzy slowly started to win those exchanges and with short hooks, and he eventually dropped and finished Robert Whittaker. Israel Adesanya is an amazing kickboxer at middleweight. He looks almost unbeatable. He times his shots really well. He's a great counter striker with a good chin. He will literally roll his shoulders, bob his head, while his opponents throw a ton of punches in his direction. Almost nothing lands, and he quickly fires back with short hooks and straights. His takedown defense is solid at 80%, but Jan and Marvin Vettori both were able to take him down multiple times. Robert Whittaker is a very diverse striker. He has really good volume. He's incredibly active. He's constantly mixing up his striking and movement patterns. He will lay out really heavy leg kicks and then immediately charge forward and chase the head. After the loss to Izzy, Robert took almost a year off to be with his family, to handle personal issues, as he said, which we still don't know what they were. And when he came back, he looked like a different fighter. He completely dismantled Darren Till, Jared Cannonier, Kelvin Gastelum. And what's interesting about those fights is while Robert kept his aggressive striking, he seemed more measured, and he worked in way more takedowns. In his first 14 UFC fights, he's had 4 takedowns. In his last 3 fights, he's had 6. He's had more takedowns in his last 3 fights than his first 14 fights combined. Very similar to the Derek Brunson story we just told. What's really interesting here is that Whittaker has let the world know what his game plan is. He literally said on more than one occasion that Jan Blachowicz gave everybody the blueprints on how to beat Israel Adesanya, and I am going to follow that blueprint. So what does that mean? Then Robert Whittaker plans on hanging with Izzy, taking him down, and then riding him out on top. And it's easier said than done, though, because Marvin Vettori just took Izzy down 4 times in June, and he still lost that fight. And it's really tough to call this fight because Izzy has proven that he can knock out Robert Whittaker. He proved it. He showed us he already knocked out Robert Whittaker, and he proved that even when he gets taken down, he has some surprises on the ground. He swept Marvin Vettori twice. 2 reversals in that fight. He was taken down 4 times, and 2 times he reversed those positions. So his forward aggression alone, like if Robert Whittaker didn't get knocked out, this is going to sound so stupid. If Robert Whittaker didn't get knocked out in the first fight, I think he was going to win that fight. His forward aggression alone was winning him rounds, and he could have won. Obviously, he was knocked out and he lost, but my point is if he can fight that exact same fight, avoid the big power, work in some takedowns, this is absolutely his fight to win. I want to pick Whittaker here. I want to pick him very badly. And I think he's one of the most live underdogs on this card, but I think Izzy will get it done. I think he will sneak it out in a close fight. I think Izzy's more prepared for the wrestling than he has been in the past. I think he'll have some surprises on the ground. I do think Robert Whittaker is going to have a ton of success on his feet. I don't think he'll get stopped, though. So, to me, I think this is a really good Robert Whittaker plus 5.5 point bet. So, again, it's just like the plus 3.5 point where you're buying points on the judges' scorecards, and all Robert will need to do is steal a couple rounds on the judges, from the judges, and then I bought the rest of it, and then that bet is mine. And he's a solid underdog here. So you might even be able to get plus money on that, because I think the odds makers are expecting Robert to get knocked out, which I don't think happens. I think he makes this a close, competitive, action-packed fight. He probably loses a decision because he'll be on the wrong side of a lot of those exchanges. But I do like Robert Whittaker buying points on the scorecard as an underdog to cash out. And you're only going to get that at wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit with Bet Online. I'll send you $50 and they have those safety net prop bets. Guys, thanks for watching this breakdown. We'll do a full, detailed, full card breakdown when we get a little bit closer to the fight. Let me know your picks in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you soon.